insight session. And maybe you have surmised that we are going to honor our mothers today. And so I'd like to invite our MC, our host, Sister Louise, to join us and appear and tell us what it is that is going to be so great tonight.
Well, thank you, Brother Eric. And I do believe we have an extremely great evening for everyone, whether you're a mother, a father, a child, whatever your relationship is. We look forward to developing our May theme this evening, which is the spiritual powers to flourish in life. And the specific topic this evening is the sustaining power of a mother. And within that context, we would love to discuss with you and invite you to join us in, first and foremost, understanding that we know that Mother's Day celebrates females, but it's very, very clear in this venue and in all spiritual endeavors that any of the feminine side that we nurture, we call it feminine. We all have masculine qualities and feminine qualities. But I think especially in this 21st century, it's so enchanting to see men so in touch with their feelings, their expressiveness. And so when we refer to Mother's Day, we are celebrating the gifts that mothers are capable of giving, and the power that mothers have really does shape cultures. It shapes individuals, and mothers have an incredible opportunity as traditionally the primary caregivers of children to influence the next generation by what they do every day, the most ordinary activities. And when we speak of a loving mother, we talk about a pure love, an unconditional love that really does establish trust in a child. It nurtures the child, it sustains the child. So we say that a mother's love is really the substance of life. And it is unlimited because where does it come from? It springs from the power of the soul, which actually knows no gender at all. And you're going to see this evening that we have a young man who's done a video for us, the son of one of our sisters, who I'll introduce in a minute. We have a lot of special things planned tonight. And he will even call God his mother, which is lovely. So I just, also we have a lovely speaker this evening. We have a very seasoned senior sister who's going to be joining us later. But right now, I would like to introduce to you and welcome everyone who's new to our Thursday night session also. But I'd like to introduce to you a song titled Mother of Love, which was written and sung by Gibb, whom, if you know popular music, he was a singer in the group called the Bee Gees. And it was written expressly by Robin, inspired by his brother Maurice, for Dottie Janke. And Dottie Janke is or was our spiritual world mother. And I'm going to say is because we know that even though she left her body last year, we know that she is still directing things on this planet and intense, has a lot of input still. But we did lose her in body last year. And this was in 2005. He wrote this song. He had already been diagnosed with cancer. He wound up living a few more years, about 6 or 7 more years. But he wrote this song because when he met Dottie Janke, who was our spiritual world mother, he was so moved by the awakening that he experienced from her. She was an incredible woman, and I know sisters who were in her presence. I even saw her once. I wasn't close enough to meet her once, but there was an aura about Dottie Janke where anyone who came in contact with her was immediately engaged. And she was quite close with Robin Gibb, and he was extremely inspired by her. So what you're going to watch is a video of the debut of his song, and the song is called Mother of Love, and it is to not only his mother, but to Dottie Janke as a tribute to her. She was 90 at the time, and she lived to be well over 100. She was, I believe, 105, and she was so, he expresses such an intense love for her, for the spiritual knowledge she shared with him before he finally left his body in 2012. So I would like to ask Brother Eric if you could play us the song dedicated to Dottie Janke by Robin Gibb. Thank you.
Robin Gibb sings his new song, Mother of Love.
It's a very special day today for a very special woman. Dottie Janke is 90 years old today. It's a great birthday. Being 90 is a great achievement in itself, but she's a very, very special woman and a great inspiration to me. And this next song is a brand new song that I wrote for her, and I'm going to sing it for the first time right now. The song is called Mother of Love. Mother, take my hand, lead me to a world I understand. Mother, take me home, help me find the strength to carry on. Everything we have in life is changing, but you are all I need to keep me still. And Mother of Love, Angel of Light, I'm a long lost child, so alone in the night. Mother of Love, Angel of Light, you have saved this soul, you have given me sight. Mother, keep me warm, always be my lighthouse in the storm. Mother, set me free, give me wings to fly eternally. Around the world the tides of war are rising, the suffering of children in our eyes. Mother of Love, Angel of Light, I'm a long lost child, so alone in the night. Mother of Love, Angel of Light, you have saved this soul, you have woken me, Mother of Love. Thank you. That's very kind of you. That song was specially written for Daddy Yankee. And again, have a great 90th birthday.
Melody inspired by my brother Maurice. It was written for Daddy Yankee, a spiritual world mother who in her 90s traveled the globe to bring about world peace and harmony. And for my own mother, Barbara Gibb, and for all mothers of the world who are out there caring for and nurturing others physically and spiritually, sometimes at great sacrifice to themselves. My personal royalties for this song will go to the Yankee Foundation for Global Healthcare, an organization that provides strength and encouragement to healthcare workers everywhere in the world through a unique program aimed at putting heart into healing. Signed, Robin Gibb, 1949 to 2012. Thank you, Brother Eric. Isn't that beautiful? Daddy Yankee served tirelessly as administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University and as Mother of the World. In fact, I just watched a beautiful video live from India where they issued an Indian postage stamp in her memory of Daddy Yankee. And she also played a most wonderful part in all our lives as the true mother of love, seeing only the good in everybody she met. And indeed, we all know that she is still sustaining us as an angel of light. So, okay. I'll say now that if you have any questions or comments throughout the evening, there will be a Q&A if we have sufficient time at the end of the program. So, but without further ado, I have a very special young man on video that I would like to introduce to you. I know his mother very well, who is one of the sisters here at Harmony House, and her son, Tarek Rim, is a 14-year-old high school student who has a variety of interests, but his chief interest is practicing Raj Yoga meditation. At the age of 14, he does that with his mom, and I'll let you listen to his video for a few minutes, and you'll see how the wonderful relationship he has with his mom and how spiritual this young man is. I do want to explain before we see the video that he uses the term Baba, which is an affectionate term for God, throughout his video. So without further ado, Brother Eric, bring us Tarek to talk about his mom.
Hello everyone, Om Shanti. My name is Tarek. I'm 14 years old, and my hobbies are riding on my scooter with my mom, biking with my friends, playing tennis, bowling, and going to the park with my mom. I enjoy fixing computers, as well as cooking with my mom and sharing Baba's knowledge. I was given a spiritual birth 6 years ago at Brahma Kumari's Richmond Hill Center. There, I learned about my spiritual mother, God the Father. Baba's knowledge is guiding me to become a self-sovereign being, detached from this world and attached to Him, so I can become pure. Baba's love and knowledge changes me bit by bit every day. My mom's name is Rose. My mom sees things and people in a different light. My mom means a lot to me because she loves me very much. She always makes sure I am happy, as well as being successful in life and in school. My mom is sweet, kind, generous, caring, hardworking, and very patient. The most important quality my mom has is that she always encourages me to do the best in everything so I can be successful. My mom sees things in me that I don't see in myself because she always tells me that I'm intelligent, smart, kind, and loving. My mom said I have the gifts to speak with animals and talk with nature. She makes me laugh when I am sad and when I came second in a robotics competition, she cheered me up to make me feel happy. My mom gives me drishti, which lifts me up and energizes me. My mom encourages me to meditate and follow Baba's knowledge every day. No matter where we are, we share God's knowledge in the street by giving out flyers and blessing cards. She gives Baba's knowledge with simple and enlightening words of comfort. There are many incidents and situations where I see my mom support and encourage people on the street or on the phone. Basically, wherever I go, my mom is kind to everyone. If she sees someone who is hungry, she brings them food and drinks to them. Once a woman in the subway was dizzy, and we carried her bags and stayed with her until she felt better. Our days are never the same now. There is always a new insight or experience. Even when we are home, Baba's services are being done. My mom dances to Baba's knowledge and songs, then pulls me to dance. We cook together in Baba's remembrance, and the food is sweet. I have seen and learned many things with my mom. She is an amazing being who touches the heart of many people, including myself. I am happy and blessed she is in my life. In appreciation to all mothers, thank you for being loving to your families. Most of all, Didi Mohani, it is a blessing for your contribution, guidance, and daily sustenance to us. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, mothers. Om Shanti, everyone. Happy Mother's Day.
So
Hello,
sweet.
everyone. Om Shanti. My name is Tarek.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know you're listening, Tarek, and I know you're listening, Rose. And on behalf of everybody, we would love to thank you for sharing your heart and your wonderful affection for your mom. We could tell you're the most grateful for your mother's encouragement of you, emotional support. And the interesting thing is, to me, you talk about Baba being your spiritual mother. And we were just talking earlier about how the feminine side, the softer side, the nurturing side, traditionally does not know gender. It comes from the soul. And you've reminded us that this sustaining power of the feminine side is in all human beings who tap into it and share it, regardless of gender. So thank you, Tarek. That was most beautiful. Okay, and next on our evening schedule is a wonderful sister who is, her name is Sister Dolly, and she is a retired educator, and she's absolutely from the New York City Department of Education, and she also worked with the Board of Education, and she's been a BK, in the Brahma Kumaris for over 40 years. So currently she's coordinating the center in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, and is the main coordinator for the BKs in New Jersey. She teaches, she leads, but I know her mostly by reputation, although she has spoken here once before. Is that right, Sister Dolly? I believe you were our guest on another Thursday night session, right? Well, we want to welcome you again. And I know that your reputation for being a gentle, powerful soul with a very powerful heart. And I know you hold faith in the goodness of every single one and the trust that you have in other people that enables them to grow and move forward in their lives. And you are a nurturer of people. And it's with great pleasure that I'd like to honor the dedicated work you've done and celebrate you for that, and in creating world peace and world unity. Again, I'd like to remind the audience that if you have a question, either for Sister Dolly or about anything you've seen this evening, please write it in the chat and we'll call on you later. And without further ado, Sister Dolly, I would just like to invite you to share your feelings on the theme of the evening, and most specifically the topic for tonight, which is this sustaining power of a mother. So wherever you'd like to begin, and thank you for coming this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Is the reception okay?
Eric,
Fabulous.
how are?
Very, very nice.
All right. Wonderful. I think I would prefer the gallery view because I can see the others as well. So we shall begin with a moment of silence. So good evening again. We heard such beautiful things about the role of a mother in a family. And I often wondered, what would a family be like without motherly love? And if you really go to see from the kind of culture that I come from, mothers do just so much. And they tolerate and they bear and they quietly, silently continue to do what they need to do. Once upon a time, the world order ran on a matriarchal system, which means the mother was the head. And then through the passage of time, things changed and roles changed, or the positioning, the importance of the roles changed. But mothers have continued to do what they need to do for the safety of their children, for the togetherness of their family, for the smoothness of the relationships in the family. And I think they've done it at the cost of their own happiness. I know in India, after the husband would give a certain amount of money to the wife to take care of the family. And it's so amazing that whatever he gave, the mother would budget it so beautifully. I think it's a skill, a talent that a mother has, that energy in the female body that knows where to spend, where to be thrifty, and where to save. So if you, in a family, one of those, regular old families, if you needed money, for instance, the father would say, go ask mommy for it. Daddy wouldn't have it, but mommy would have it. And one of the things that I learned when I came to, as a student, to Raja Yoga meditation, it's very powerful. When a mother or when mothers rise, the world rises. And when mothers fall, the world falls. We do see a downfall happening. But in any family, how much does a mother do? I wish we could have an interactive session, but we are not in person, so I just need to keep talking. But it would be nice to have your views as well. What would a mother? I know one great quality that a mother has is sacrifice. The power of sacrifice, which comes from the power of creating unity and harmony in the family. We don't always succeed. I don't know how many mothers have that experience today. We do so much, and yet this is the outcome. Today, many mothers work. I think the majority, at least in some of the countries outside India, they work. So in the morning, they get up, they get the breakfast ready, get the children ready to go to school. Then the father would take the children to school, whatever that means. And the mother also gets ready to go to work. And then at work, she does her best. It's a job. And then you come home. There is again the chores to be done. Very often she'd find a sink overflowing with dishes, with the family sitting in front of the television, with their feet up on the coffee table. And she wonders, why can't they help? So there is, to an extent, there is a change from the matriarchal system to the system today, where I feel mothers, in the eyes of the public, they do have a kind of a secondary status. However, their role is their role, and it keeps them in the lead. Now, what has happened? What is happening in the world today? How much do the mothers do? Yes, the fathers do too. Fulfilling the desires of their children. Everything, whatever a child needs, a mother will do her best to fulfill the needs of the child. But yet, even though the mother has fulfilled, we have fulfilled the needs of the child or the children, do we feel our needs fulfilled? Do we have this thought now and then, sometimes, look, I have done so much for this family. I have done so much for the children. What am I getting in return? And I know mothers have that thought because they often speak to us about their feelings, their emotions. So what is happening? We are doing whatever we want to do. We want to give to the children. We want to do our best. And we've done that best. And yet there is that feeling of rejection. That feeling of neglect or lack of attention from the family. So why is that happening? Think about it. I think it's a very subtle phenomenon that is taking place. One of the things that the world today is recognizing is the impact, the value of vibrations. Vibrations are not visible, but they're there all the time. Vibrations come from our thoughts, from our state of mind, from how we are thinking, not so much as what we are saying and doing, but they're very, very powerful from our own, coming from our own mind. So what is happening? They say what you put out there comes back to you. What goes round comes round. So if I am making the family, the children happy, how come that happiness is not coming back to me? Maybe not today, 10 years later, or even later, but it doesn't seem to happen. And that is a constant question in the minds, that I did do so much. Why is there no return? So what is happening? We give the child is, let's say, a teenager today, is going to college and needs a car, and the parents give it. The child needs a certain amount of money while in college, in school, and the parents give it. So the physical needs of the children are being fulfilled. The family are being fulfilled. Now, what is one thing that we are not paying attention to? Think about it. I gave, or we as parents gave, a physical action. The child is very happy with the car. Thank you, mommy. Thank you, daddy. It starts there and it ends there. Now, and this is the spiritual aspect that is being neglected, not just by a mother, but by every human being in the world. At the time I gave, I was happy to give, but what kind of a state of mind did I have when we were providing the materialistic thing to the children? Was I happy? Or did I have feelings of tension? What kind of tension might that be? I hope my kid doesn't have an accident, doesn't drive rashly. Are those happy thoughts? What kind of thoughts are they? Weak thoughts. So these thoughts of stress, these thoughts of apprehension, these thoughts of subtle fear and worries, what are they doing? These thoughts are sending these vibrations to the souls, to the energy, to the children, and to anyone for that matter, the whole family for that matter. So I have taken care to make the family, the children happy, but I didn't take care to make myself happy. And the most important thing in our life is our state of mind. Because of the kind of thoughts that I'm having, the quality of that thoughts is emitting the same kind of vibrations. So along with that fulfillment, that happiness, the children are also getting these vibrations of apprehension. And they might think, oh, I wonder if my mother trusts me. I wonder if my parents trust me. And that is a thought of doubt. And that affects the behavior of the family, the children. So what do we need to do? And I think this is what has created this lack of attention to the self, this lack of attention to giving happiness to others through materialistic things. Those things are there today. They will go. They may not be there tomorrow. Everything that is made up of matter has a limited life. It's there today, may not be there tomorrow. So the happiness that I gave through that means is not a permanent happiness. But the happiness that I could have given through my vibrations, that inner happiness, the happiness that would make the child feel, or the children feel, confident, trusted, respected, did not come from me. So I give, or we have ended up giving the perishable and not the imperishable, not the eternal. Whoever is participating in this evening session, ask yourself, what would you like for yourself? Permanent happiness or temporary happiness? Temporary happiness comes from the temporary means that sometimes make us happy, but then a day or two later, that happiness seems to begin to evaporate. So I think as mothers, we have the energy that we have has certain personality traits that give us a different kind of power. Those personality traits are the power of love, the power of sacrifice, the power of acceptance. Three main powers that a mother always has. Love. But what has happened to this power of love? Where is this power coming from? we as human beings, whatever role we are playing, we have energy. The young child talked about, the kid talked about that energy called the soul. Some call it the spirit, but it's the eternal energy that keeps this body animated, that keeps this body active. It's the living energy in the body. And this living energy is beyond gender, beyond role. It is made up of personality traits, habits. We also call them sense cars. Now, some of these sense cars become dominant when we play a particular role. So as a mother, the dominant sense cars or personality traits are those of love and sacrifice, etc. So when these sense cars become active, when you see them in your interactions, that is where you feel the power of it. You always would say that so-and-so is a very powerful person. Not because that person is just sitting there doing nothing much, but you see that person in action. The way the person speaks, the way the person handles situations, etc., etc. So that is what the power is all about. And we need to pay attention to ourselves as that energy. If I am stressed out, if I'm sad, if I'm depressed because my kid is now going to college, going to be on campus, leaving home, what kind of feelings is it creating? I'm sending my child with those feelings. I could also say, oh, now my kid is going to be whatever his major is going to be. Oh, my kid is going to be this professional. Begin to feel proud of that. What kind of energy would that be? So we, as mothers, often today fail to use our powerful sense cars to their fullness. We use them in a very limited way. I give the kid what he wants so he can be happy. But that's very limited. To realize today that I am unlimited. My capacity is not to go the extra mile, but my capacity has no bounds, has no limitations. But today we get attached, and that attachment affects our love. Love is such a beautiful feeling, emotion, a wonderful, the most powerful ingredient in any relationship. But pure love. That's why we're talking about the power of love. It's the purity of my love that would make me undergo sacrifices. I have seen a bedridden mother couldn't get up even to do her own things. So weak. But she saw her child going towards, let's just say, danger. Somehow she got some physical energy. She got up and grabbed the child and moved him away from unsafe grounds. Where did that happen? Where did it come from? So these personality traits that we have, they often, they also inject energy, healing energy into the body as well. So now, what should we do? There is always a solution. We lost our sense of this kind of understanding of what happens to us. We have neglected, ignored our own self. Why am I unhappy? Why am I apprehensive? I can have positive thoughts, but we don't think in those terms. Why not? Why don't we do that? For me, there are lots of reasons, but we have limited time, so I'm just going to talk about one thing. We need to look at how strong my mind is. We mustn't forget. We all know, but it's not an active ingredient in our awareness that the mind is constantly generating thoughts, creating thoughts, and our whole life is based on our thoughts, my words, and my actions, not someone else's. My thoughts create an awareness. My awareness generates or affects my attitude. My attitude influences my perspective of what I'm seeing, which is external. So far it was internal, now projecting outwards. And then my perspective affects my action, my karma. And my karma, in turn, creates my destiny. And that destiny is one of the basic things, and that destiny is how powerful my mind is. A weak mind creates weak thoughts. A powerful mind creates powerful thoughts. So today, let's together assess our own self, the quality of my personal internal life. What kind of feelings do I have? What kind of emotions do I have? What kind of thoughts do I have? What's the quality and content of my thoughts? Because that's going to determine not just my existence, but also the influence that I would be having on my family, my community, my colleagues, etc. So to make my mind powerful is to remind myself, tell myself just one thought. I am an eternal, living, conscient energy. Pure in my nature, and by pure I mean powerfully positive, peaceful, purposeful. Today my thoughts have lost some of their positivity because I have allowed the external influences. You know, we live in a world of sorrow, uncertainty, in a way, misery. You don't know what's happening the next minute. All those things are affecting my mind. So I, in turn, become apprehensive. I, in turn, become fearful. So given the situation, I mustn't forget that my role is that of a mother. Mother, from where I come, the East, has often been said to be a God substitute. You see how beautiful that is? I may not know God, but I know my mom, my mother, whose power empowers me. So, to not become the role, but to be aware that this is my role today. If I'm not strong, how am I going to give strength to the family? I may not be able to give them the physical means that they want, but I can definitely give them the power of love, positive energy, divine thinking, so that tomorrow those children also have these seeds sown in them. And they remember, oh, my mother used to say that. You know, we do that. All of us do it. And the final point that I want to make, I know we are running a bit overboard, but the final point that I want to make is, you know, the mother of mothers, at least from where I come, is God Himself. But what He does, His doing and being, is the same pure, elevated, divine self. So if I wish to become powerful, become strong, there is no human being who will give me that charge. I need to charge myself by connecting to my mother, the Supreme Being. Om Shanti. Thank you all.
Oh, Sister Dolly, you surprised me and took that in such a powerful direction, speaking so honestly and practically about the unlimited love that comes from the power that comes from the soul. And I was so moved by what you said about the vibration creating the feeling that the child will carry with them. So a mother or anyone can perform the same actions, and they can either be exhausted, maybe even resentful. Why am I doing everything? Why is this all falling on me? Poor me, poor me. Or they can perform the same actions with what you pointed out, without all of that negative stuff and the energy of having the power of the mind create powerful thoughts. And I'm thinking that we listened to Tarek, Rose's son, earlier. And did you manage to catch the video of him talking about how empowering his mother is and how he seems to be a perfect example of the permanent happiness that Rose has created in her home to nurture this very grateful boy. And even the act of producing that 5-minute video together, I'm sure that she had input, he was honest, and the beauty of what he enjoys doing with his mom, from riding a scooter or whatever it was, to cooking. And I think that I know Rose personally, and I know that she is the embodiment of everything you described tonight. And I know that people will leave here this evening, this is always our goal, with more peace than they came in with, and having found something, and you brought it to them tonight. So I really want to thank you for joining us this evening and being so inspirational for all of us. So we do have a couple of questions. We don't have a lot of time. And of course, I'm going to ask you to do a little meditative commentary, but I will tell you the 2 questions in the Q&A. The first one is kind of deep. I don't know how much you want to delve into it. How do I control thoughts of worry? And the second question, I'll just give you both. How do I send out peaceful vibrations? I think you may have addressed that pretty thoroughly. So would you like to respond to either of both of those in just a few seconds or a minute?
Yes.
Thank you.
How to control my thoughts of worry. We don't even want to control them. We want to eliminate them totally. And the one way that you'll always be able to do it is you tell yourself, am I the energy of worrying, or am I the energy of giving good, positive, encouraging thoughts to my family, to the world out there? Always tell yourself that I am a pure soul. I am a powerful being. And power, purity, and worry, they don't go together. Do I wish to give worries to my children, or do I wish to give them happiness? Thought is a silent bestowal. Words can be heard, actions can be seen, but thoughts are invisible. And they are the most powerful bestowal because of the vibrations that emanate from them. So experiment with this. Every morning, tell yourself, I'm a being of love. I'm a being of positivity. I'm a being of happiness. And energize that thought through the day. How to give peaceful vibrations to everyone, we'll do it just now in meditation. Did I answer their question? Please ask them.
I think you did. And
In short,
I think that was a beautiful, beautiful answer. We want to eliminate it. I love when you said that. So it is 7:55, and I would like to invite you to lead us in a little meditative commentary, maybe just a few moments before we close this evening.
yes.
Thank you.
Let's all sit comfortably and make the body as still as possible. And now, direct your thoughts, your attention to the center of the forehead. in between the eyes, the eyebrows, sits a very powerful energy called the soul. This energy is forever. It cannot be destroyed. And the most beautiful fact, reality about this energy is that this is the energy of peace. The energy of love, caring, serving, unlimited. Beyond the physical. Now let's have just one thought. I am a being, energy of peace and love. Feel yourself as this energy in the body. We are not this body. We are this eternal energy. Let's send vibrations of love and peace to every cell in our body. And now, open your eyes if they are closed. Look out the window and send thoughts of love and peace to Mother Nature, to the entire humanity, every human soul in our world. Om Shanti. I, the soul, am peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know it's getting late, but I have a personal story, very short, that speaks to what you're talking about. If there's anyone here in the audience tonight who feels they're not capable of this, doesn't believe it's an innate power that we have, innate, eternal force. My mother suffered from Alzheimer's disease for 18 years, and I saw her the day before she died. She was not responsive at all. She was not a body that could talk or walk, and there was no reaction anymore. But her eyes were open and she would have reflexes. She could still swallow. And I was telling her that I was going for surgery and I was a bit frightened. This was about 8 years ago. And I started to tear up and I said, Mom, I'm frightened. Will you come with me? Take my hand. And I want to tell you that with only the soul left, still alive, she lifted her hand from under the sheet and she looked me directly in the eye for the first time in 2-3 years. So that's the living part that I think you were talking about just now. So I just wanted to share that. And thank you again for coming to us. I do want to say that the person who asked the question in chat said, yes, thank you. You did answer his question or her question. It's anonymous. So I just want to conclude by saying thank you to everyone who participated tonight, virtually or otherwise. Speaking of mothers, we've had the company of Sister Mohini. You've heard us talk about her every night on Zoom for over a year of this pandemic, mothering us all. So a special thanks goes out to her. She's the head of the entire Northeast region in the Caribbean of the Brahma Kumaris. And I also want to invite everyone to come next week. We have on Thursday evening, Spiritual Powers to Flourish in Life is the theme. And the topic will be recharge and strengthen your inner life. And the speaker is someone we had a few months ago, Sister Devki from the Caribbean. Many of you told us how much you enjoyed her. So she will be here with us again. And we hope to have her return frequently throughout the year. And I do want to say that the last session in May will specifically talk about the feminine power, we call it Shakti, of the soul. So if you've been inspired tonight, I just want you to know that that's going to be the concluding session for the month of May. So thank you all for coming. Thank you to all the participants. Thank you, Brother Eric. Are you there? The voice from beyond.
Very much so. Thank you, Louise. It was wonderful. And Sister Dolly, always inspirational. And I would like to thank those who prepared some of our meditation commentaries and videos to make such a lovely, wonderful evening. And to all those who would like to hear this, happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Om Shanti.